The project that we're trying to get taken care of is an age-old project within the jail. We have 9 showers that are used by the inmates. We have 1 in each one of the cell blocks, plus there's 1 up front just off the booking area that is used. Remember that the jail is 25 years old. The product that was used to seal those showers up back when it was built and then over the years has continually flaked off and flaked off and flaked off to where we are down to bare concrete on the floor, which is a safety issue. And then where the block wall meets the floor, the concrete floor, there's obvious seams where those are at. Water leaks through those down into the basement, down into the storage area, down into the ceiling tile above dispatch and above probation, and also out into the hallway. So what I have done is solicited 4 bids for lack of understanding all their terminology, is to cover the cell or showers from the ceiling to the floor, including the floor, with an epoxy style paint. I received 3 bids back. The 2 highest bids were a little over $42,000. The 3rd bid was $26,000 and some dollars. What I've worked out with the commissioners, or suggested anyway, was to take half the money out of the misdemeanor fund, which is a fund that an annual payment, if you will, from the Department of Correction that comes back to the Sheriff's Department. It's used for projects within the jail itself, where we don't have to come and ask for money. The reason I want to just pay for half of this out of that is we have unexpected bills, projects that come up just literally overnight. Bill, you've asked many a time over the years when we're going to have to build a new jail, and I've given you the answer that I thought was reasonably correct, but for some reason, from the last time you asked it today, our numbers, inmate population has gone up almost 30%. We're hovering right around 130. We should be around 100. So one of the projects that we had to pay for out of that, when our numbers have gone up, is buying more mattresses. We had to buy more clothes. When you put 3 people in a cell, the 3rd person can't sleep on the concrete floor. You've got to provide them with a device that we call a boat that elevates them up off the floor. We didn't have enough of those to cover the added inmates that we had. So those are the type of projects that literally pop up overnight. We've got another project that we're working on. The fire marshal has found holes in the floors and the walls. It's been there for 25 years that they now need to be plugged so we don't get fire or smoke from the basement up into the building. So that's, I mean, literally that's overnight. He comes in one day, finds these 25-year-old holes and says, get those plugged within 30 days. Well, we're about 90 days down the road from that project, or that construction. So those are the things that just come up overnight, and that's why I don't want to use all misdemeanor money. I want to be able to hold that back just a little bit to cover projects such as that. So the company that we would like to have do this project is charging $26,745.79, and again, the half of that would come out of the misdemeanor fund, and then just asking for some type of funding for the other half.
Mark, something comes to mind as I'm listening to you. Some of those epoxies, you might want to have them fill you in about how toxic or allergic some people may be as far as asthma, because some of them are really.
The company that's going to do it, it's not an epoxy. I don't know what I could look through their materials. It's not an epoxy. It's another type of.
Just make sure you know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
Mark, is there any kind of a guarantee or warranty period on these?
This company has a 10-year warranty on theirs. All the others had a year or 2 years.
I know we put some in the animal shelter on the floor, and I literally could not seem like get any oxygen out of the air. I was like, major asthma attack. Man, you know, it can
This
be really
stuff that they're
bad.
putting on it's a low VOC. I already checked that out just due to the proximity to the inmates.
I was thinking that we put on the animal shelter, it's like 50-year warranty, but man, that stuff was bad.
Yeah, this is a low VOC and it's incorporated with an antimicrobial in the
Yeah.
substance
Sure.
itself to combat against anything you have to worry about in the shower.
Yeah.
So
I just want to make sure we don't get in, where we got a whole bunch of inmates going to the hospital.
sure, yeah, that was my number one concern. It's
Yeah.
low VOC, so that's I'm not concerned about that.
Yeah.
It's 24-hour turnaround time.
Sure, good.
At this time right now, in the county misdemeanor fund, it's $34,160. The other fund would be seated, and we have almost $851,000.
I'll make a motion, we pay for it from cum cap, what that money was intended to be used to do repair work. So I move we appropriate the amount from cum cap that it takes to finish the project.
Instead of seated?
Yeah,
Or the
second.
entire amount?
Pardon?
The entire amount or just the
Just the half.
half?
Half of it.
No, the whatever he needs to
Okay.
Right.
fulfill his contract.
Under 1138 cum cap development,
Upset. 30,000. Whoops.
our current balance is $30,583.
Well, let's back up a second then. When will that be replenished again?
When we do disbursement in December.
Okay, so there'll be some more put in there again, okay.
You know, that's something, we're gonna do something about refactoring after the
March
first
is
year.
when I have cum cap and cum bridge.
Change the rate, we're gonna change the rates on that.
Right. But you gotta remember, we've spent $593,000 out of there
Yeah.
this year because of the vehicle purchases and the other building improvements. We've had a lot of
That's right.
the heating and cooling and building improvements all came out of there. So we started out with about 455. Looks like we'll bring in about 168,000 in the final fall distribution of money. So it would be right around 160 for fall collection. That's not included in that sheet right now.
This project obviously won't be done until early next year. I mean, it's not gonna be done this next week, so.
You gotta wait till the place gets empty so you can go to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You got room out there?
While they're on vacation. While they're on vacation, I'll do that.
Half of that.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion, any additional discussion? So in summarizing, half comes out of the county misdemeanor, half comes out of cum cap. All those in favor signify by your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Just another question to Mark. How often does that fund of yours replenish?
Yearly?
Just annually one time?
Correct. And it's always hovered right around 20,000 a year. And we've typically done improvements within the building there that I haven't had to come to you guys, we just take care of and get them done, just like plugging the holes and
How much is it gonna
Yeah,
cost to
some
plug
other-
those holes? You have any idea?
somewhere between 5 and 10,000. And that was the low bid on that one too, so. Okay.
I really think that we need to talk a little bit, maybe not totally discuss, but there's gonna have to be some courthouse security changes. Right?
We're gonna talk
In the
about that.
equipment.
In the equipment. Yeah, I don't mean in manpower, in equipment.
Well,
And that's gonna be coming down, well, John's out, okay, never mind then. No, that's gonna be coming down the road too, so, we just, nobody likes surprises, but we do have some.
It also shows here you have a request for transfer funds within department budget.
Yes, sir. I was told that was all taken care of and I didn't have to be there for that, so I didn't bring those paperwork. So,
I have them.
great.
Shows, reading into it shows that Joe vacation buyout, transfer to work release meals, $2,000. Medical, $3,000, transfer to work release meals, $3,000. Janitor supplies, transfer to work release meals, $3,000. Medical, $10,000, transfer to utilities, $10,000. Telephone, transfer $14,000 to gas. Garage, transfer $11,000 to gas. And sheriff's equipment maintenance, $2,000, transfer to uniforms, $2,000.
What runs the gas bill up that much money? 25,000. Now, gas, you're talking about automobile fuel or,
I believe so.
well, why would you come up so short in your gasoline account?
The price this year.
Mark got it.
And when we went through next year's budget, they had already talked about it. We brought it down a couple of years back, and we knew we were gonna be a shortfall already. We even talked about it this year, bringing it back up, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So every year we start, we know we're at a shortfall already with it.
Right, I remember that.
Then on utilities, I guess my only question was the amount of winters we had, I just wondered why that would, I mean, fuel prices, you're using natural gas, I assume, is that the main utilities or other things that run that up? More than heat.
The
Air
heating,
conditioning or
heating,
something?
cooling, water, sewage.
Have a request for transfer with what was read. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the transfers.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by your right hand. Those opposed?
And this is both transfers, one for the sheriff, one for the jail.
I'm sorry.
Correct.
That motion was for both transfers, one for the sheriff, and one for
One
the
for
jail.
the jail.
Thank you.
Anything else? We have an additional request for appropriation for funds to the budget from the prosecutor's office, requesting $11,634. And it's salary fund by grant for victims assistant. Is this amount all reimbursed?
Yes, I kind of wanted to explain this a little bit. This goes way back before, 2 years actually, when this fund has ran in the red for a number of years. I believe the reason is because the person, Jenny Falk, who's paid out of this, either in 2008 or 2009, we can't really verify, the money was not appropriated. So at end of the year in 2010 and 11, close to 5,000. Now it's 7,247.25, which we're waiting for the final disbursement of. I believe it's around 45,000 in the paperwork. Yeah, 4539. So half of her salary is being paid by the grant, and the other half is not. So what we want to do to make sure it's cleaner and this doesn't get commingled with the county general money anymore, we're putting it as a total, which used to be 305 money. We're going to pay her completely out of the budget for county general, and then the grant money will be for the $16,169. Their quarters run from October 1st until September 30th, so it doesn't run on our calendar year when we're getting the money. So the last quarter of her money won't even come into play until next year. So it's not matching what she's being paid, and I think that's where it's fallen before, is the reason that it's got in the hole and it continues to stay in the hole. So I worked with Patty Cook at the prosecutor's office, but I just think it'd be cleaner if we went ahead and paid her the money out of there, cleaned the account up, and started. She just turned in her last quarter thing, and then her first will be in December. It'll be from October till December. We'll put that money in one appropriation fund that you see on your sheets, which I didn't give you new ones because we didn't balance with the treasurer yet. and then that will be the only money put in that account. So it doesn't run in the red, we pay her half the year and back and forth. Do you have any questions? How did it get in the hole?
Working with grants, it's understandable on it. My question is there any other funding out of the prosecutor's office, as in infraction deferral, or any of those that money could come out of rather than the general fund?
They've got
That's a good question.
they've got prosecutors fund that they can spend about any place that I recall.
Well, John Vita used to fund a lot of his help out of
Yeah,
there, and I
yeah.
don't know that I've seen it since we've had a new prosecutor, but John used to fund, I don't know
Yeah.
how, I think he got you into it for a year or two, and then it
Yeah.
became part of.
We never really knew what he was doing, to tell you the truth.
Okay, I know where I want the money to go, cause this is Jen's, the 11610 is her, account number for her wages. That's where I need the money to go into. I was looking for help on where to take it from, so that would be a suggestion.
Yeah, I would check with Matt and see if he can pay that out of his,
What did
for,
you,
40 or
Check
deferral.
with Patty
He's got
and
several
Matt's
funds.
Yeah.
Right.
And some we know and some we
Yeah,
don't.
some we don't.
so deferral, looking
Well,
at them out?
one of his,
He has two funds, I'm assuming. One's like an infraction deferral, and I think one of our last printouts, it was like 140,000 in it, give or take a few.
and one of the funds, I believe, has to be 40 specific, but since she's victim's advocate, that may qualify, but that's up to
Oh,
Matt to
that's the
determine.
incentive money?
Being the lawyer,
Incentive?
Being the lawyer, you ought to be able to figure it out.
but he can figure it out. Going west, yeah.
County user fee infraction, 160,381.
Yeah, he can find out if he looks for it. Usually you can, yeah, audit. Because he doesn't even have to come
County
to us.
user
He
infraction.
County user
Which is
infraction
quite
fee.
late either.
See
And I
if
know
that
he
is
uses a little
available,
bit
and then
of
there's
it,
one other that's
other
not
things,
listed.
but
Yeah.
Through
he
the
sits on a
office.
lot.
The
Yeah,
funds don't
got a lot of
come
them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So we basically table that until we have additional information.
do you,
I saw move.
okay. I can do that.
And our last request for transfer funds is from the Highway Department. This is the annual cleaning up loose ends.
Yeah.
Fuel station needs it all.
Yeah, and her note is finding leftover appropriations to use to cover the overage in the fuel station supply line item as instructed by us. So I think this is one of those.
Well, remember he asked for the additional money and you guys denied it when Barton came, so I think that's what this is covering.
So now they're just going through their budget, they're finding money and
Yeah.
moving it over, which is good.
Yeah.
Instead of just giving him the money when it was here, if you remember that meeting.
Do we have a motion for this?
Also move.
And I'll second.
Transfer.
We need it read in.
I'm sorry,
I need this read into it. or just-
no motions, but you don't have to read each one.
For discussion, this is all right, making them do that, but hopefully they don't get in trouble on one of these other line items that they're pulling out of. So I hope they're watching when they take and move money away, that they really don't need it.
Right, and I think Karen is
We have
pretty good at,
one more payables, December 17th, we'll finish out the budget for 2012. So
I like
I'll
to see
run
it.
one at the end of the year and then we'll see if there's any, I've been running those location budgets all the time for them. And they are all on the last system now, so Karen herself can pull that up and see what she had in there and what she has coming down still to turn into claims to the office. So that's helped out a lot to keep everybody from a 2-week cycle of claims. So they're pretty aware of anyone who's turned in claims what's out there. It's not a big surprise at the end of the year anymore.
We have a motion and a second.